All right. Okay. We are live. We are live. Okay. So let's see. So before we get into the charts, let's talk about the news going into tomorrow. Happy 4th for those that celebrated today. Um, Hopefully you guys can watch some fireworks tonight, spend some time with the family, and catch some of the sun. All right. So let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the news. All right. So we do have a light day going into tomorrow. The focus for tomorrow is definitely going to be the 7:30 block right here. It's going to be this employment data. All of this data right here is related. We have the average hourly earnings for the month of June, the average weekly earnings or hours for the month of June, the labor force participation rate for the month of June, non-farm payroll, and the underemployment rate for the month of June. So that's definitely going to be a market mover tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be a full day, so we don't have to worry about closing a position at 12. Tomorrow is going to be full. So, and at 12 o'clock, we do have some crude news coming out. So after 7:30, that's basically all we really have to pay attention to. And with that said, let's jump into the charts. Let's jump into the charts. And uh, as a reminder, we don't want to try to interpret the news. It doesn't matter how we think or what we think about the news. It's how the market reacts to that. The people that actually influence the movement of this market. It's how they interpret it. They pay analysts millions of dollars to analyze certain conditions, and they have models that they trade from, and we're just going to follow in their footprints. So we're not going to try to play the mental gymnastics with the market. All right, so let's jump into the Nasdaq chart first. So I tried to get into this. I may have an opportunity to get into this. If I'm not filled in this position before I go to bed tonight, if I'm not filled, I'm actually going to cancel. I'm actually cancel this because it's obviously apparent that I missed this rundown. I thought I was going to get an extra 20 points going to the downside, so price can tap into this range, and then we can see a test of this high right here. Obviously, the bulls are going to have to get through this range. The bulls are going to need to push past this range, have price acceptance above it. I'll pull back into this range, preferably here at this neckline. And from this neckline, we can see a move higher, trying to take out this all-time high. I do believe that we have some more room for upside. What is going to be hard to believe is that we don't get a decent pullback so more buyers can jump into this. If we don't get a decent pullback, what's going to fuel this market is the bears that's going to try to short this market on its way up, as they always do. I mean, as a bear, what else you're supposed to do? Try to sell as high as possible. Unfortunately, in this market, being a bear, selling as supply is literally a gamble in today's market if you're selling at supply, which is crazy to say, but that's actually that's the climate for the market today. I mean, I gotta remember to do that. But for the most part, we're not gonna really talk about trying to set up a plan for non-farm payroll because we all know that non-farm it can definitely wick both ways before deciding what direction that it wants to go into. So tomorrow I will try my best to start a stream at 7:25 Central Time, and I will stream for a good 15 to 20 minutes. Let's see if we can catch the reaction to non-farm payroll. Maybe Smith can join. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to. And we'll go from there so we can kind of be prepared, because that's going to be the roadblock going into tomorrow's non-farm payroll and the reaction to it. But what we can do is actually talk about what actually happened, not yesterday, but on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, July 3rd. Look at this massive move up. So once we got a break, once price kind of broke out of this range right here, and we saw that breakout, that pullback, and then from this pullback, we saw this massive move higher. The one thing that I want to point out is how price has been riding the 21 and the 50. Now, two things could happen tomorrow. Either we see a massive move up, which in my opinion is highly unlikely. I don't believe that you'll have real buyers buying all-time highs. I would find it hard to believe that the market buys all-time highs. Without a decent pullback to attract more buyers, they can round up some more of their orders that they've left behind, and then seeing a move up like that is more believable. However, if we look in the past, we can see that these bulls have just been doing exactly that. I mean, they did get a pullback this time before running back up, but these bulls has just been buying highs. They've definitely been buying highs. I mean, I guess we've had some bearish moves, but at the beginning of this move, we can just see that price just kept going up. It just kept going up and going up. But like I said before, we did get pullbacks. Like once price reached the all-time high, we got a pullback. And from that pullback, we got that continuation. So, I mean, that is something that has happened in the past consistently after massive moves up. So I'm going to be looking for that tomorrow. I'm going to be looking to see if we're going to get that pullback during non-farm payroll. And if we don't get that pullback and we get a massive move higher, and if price begins to grind down, that's going to kind of tell me that, okay, that the bulls are secretly selling out of their position. And as the market is going down, the bulls are still buying it up. The big money bulls are already taking profits. And if I see the market, let me draw it out. Actually, just do it on a higher time frame. And on the higher time frame, it does appear that the market will be trying to retest or even take out this high overnight. So we'll see. But for right now, what I expect is maybe we do get a massive move up. Because usually after a big move, what we've been seeing is a massive move up, and then we're getting these grinders down. Actually, that's not how I'm drawing. We get in the market to do this. And that's the bulls taking profits, but the new bulls trying to buy it back up. But then the market starts to trend down. If I start to see the market trending down because I missed the short, if I miss the short, I'm going to be looking to see which area is highly likely for us to see a bounce. And just looking at this chart, the closest area that I can see is here, right at this range, where we initially got this breakout from this range. We got a pullback, and then we saw the market completely move up. So I'm going to be looking for the market to try to retest that 294 level. If we get that tomorrow, yeah, that does look good. Yeah, 290. Yeah, somewhere around this area is where I'm going to be looking for the bulls to try to come back in to at least retest this breakout level. And if we get a move down If the bulls fail to defend this level, the next level would be this level here at 235. Yeah, 235. Yeah, you can see that they came in as support. And this will be your strong low here at 205. So, I mean, anything can happen tomorrow. We do have the structure just in case that the Nasdaq does come back into this range. So it's basically from 295 to 235. So the 60-point range. Price can find support somewhere in here, and we can probably get a retest of at least 353. Excuse me, at this higher structure right here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Looking at Bookmap right now, I mean, the CVD is positive right now. It is positive right now, or slightly negative, slightly negative. But the CVD has been positive for the past 2 days. And we can see that VWAP is still sloping up. So I'm going to really pay attention to where VWAP stops or where it ends up tomorrow. I do see that it's still a bull market. All the EMAs are still sloped up to the upside. So this is still a bullish market. Even if we get a pullback, I don't believe it will be a reversal. It will just be a pullback. The bulls taking their profits, and they're looking for cheaper prices to buy. And like I said, this is the area where I'm going to be initially looking for. This is 294 level. But again, we have non-farm tomorrow. So anything, any technical levels will be invalidated, obviously. Yeah. And with that said, let's actually look at an ES chart. Actually, let's look at the hourly chart. So, I mean, it does look like overnight we will probably see a pump back into this range. We'll see price trade back into this range. And this is definitely going to be the deciding factor for the bulls if they're going to trade through this range and retest this high. So, all right, let's jump into an ES chart real quick. All right. So just like the Nasdaq, this is the ES chart. Now, this one's going to be tricky. This one's definitely going to be tricky because we do see that there is a big range here between these two levels. I mean, this is a big range for price to come back into and find support somewhere in here. What makes this tricky is because the NQ, or not the NQ, the ES has already kind of made a reversal pattern. And it looks like it's trying to come back here to 92, and we might see a move down back into this range right here. Unlike the NQ, we got the EMA starting to flatten out and actually point towards the downside. So usually from what I've noticed with the ES and the NQ, if the NQ is not done clearing out areas of supply and demand, NQ or ES will usually stall out and not really move. The Nasdaq will either make rapid moves to the upside, to the downside, and once the NQ is all caught up, that's when you start to see both instruments moving in the same direction. And that's what I've noticed so far trading both instruments. So now there's going to be times where the Nasdaq still probably has some more room for upside, but the ES has already touched its high and is now waiting to make that rotation lower. However, here on the ES, the structure is still technically bullish. Technically. We found support here. We have a strong low here. We have the bears trying to sell it, creating a little double bottom here. And at least for right now, we got price moving to the upside. And if the bears fail to protect this area above this pivot point, we can definitely see a move up to at least retest 95 or try to take out 97. But 95 is more likely. Once the ES makes a head, it usually takes a lot of price action to take this out. She is not the NQ. The ES does protect its highs. Its highs and lows does matter, and you have to trade in between highs and lows with the ES unless something takes out the high, like news or something. News or a lot of price action takes out highs and lows on the ES. So we could see a move up to 95 tonight. We could. Or we could see the market chop. Who knows? But for right now, if we get a break of this low, if you're long in this, obviously a 2 to 3 point stop, or maybe your stop underneath this low, will be a great risk reward trade. Honestly, I wish I was at my chart when the market did this, because I probably would have taken this long for a risk reward trade to the upside. But we'll see. Let's see. But if the market does rotate down lower, I think what was it, 87 or something? Let's look at the higher time frame with the ES. Yeah, because 85, they're bouncing it at all-time highs. So this actually might be an area where they're trying to come in and actually push this market, because they're buying it at 85, and 85 was that high previously. 87 was the all-time high before they broke it on Wednesday. And I think, yeah, this is a good example of the ES not taking out its high. I don't think we had news this day. We almost took out this high. We almost did, but it fell short 2 points. I noticed that a lot with the ES. If you look at it historically, once the ES makes its highs, it takes a lot of price action for it to break. This is a good example where look at all the price action it took just to break this high. And all this price action only took out $1 before it came right back down. I think this was news. It might have been news. And then once we had all this price action, we made a new high and we had this big drop. And it didn't even take it out. Here's another good example right here. Once it made this high, look at all this price action that it needed just to take it out. But once it took out this high and it came to the right shoulder, look how it's not even getting close to its high. So with the ES, that's the one thing that you have to really look out for, is the highs and lows and having to trade in between. So we'll see if the market takes out this high with non-farm tomorrow. But if not, we can definitely see a big correction down. We do have VWAP at 42, and I can kind of see why VWAP is in this area, because we had a breakout, and this is where the start of the breakout happened. Is the break of this level right here. The break of this high was the start of this run. So if we do get a move down, that 40 to 45 level, somewhere in this range, that range I was looking for on Wednesday for the market to pull back into, this is going to be an area where I'm going to look to trade if price begins to rotate lower, or if non-farm brings price all the way down here, I'm going to be looking to get into a trade somewhere down here, somewhere. Uh, 58, 59. We'll see, because we'll see. I'm pretty sure a lot of people is going to probably get into this level right here at 59 as well, but they might get their stops ran. We'll see. We'll see. But for right now, that's all I have on the ES. The market is moving towards the upside. If you're in this, stop below 80. A stop at 80 would probably be a great risk reward trade for a retest of the high, or at least 95 or the high. That's a great risk reward trade. All right, and the last thing I'm going to talk about is going to be gold. All right, so these fib levels have been holding up. The level that we talked about yesterday is where the market bounced. We talked about that 2360 level. Price actually got to 59 and 30 cents. So if we got in at 60 even, we only would have been what, 7 ticks, $70 in drawdown, and we would have caught this massive move up to retest this area. I'm thinking that the market is actually going to sell off, or let me rephrase that term. I do believe that we may get a pullback, and we could possibly see this 2354 level a bounce here, or a bounce around 2350. Somewhere in this range, I can definitely see gold possibly bounce. Somewhere in this range right here. So if you're a gold trader, I'll keep my eyes on this range right here. And as price trades into it, what I want to see is the bulls to come in at this area, at these wicks where they've came in previously. Honestly, this will be just a great risk reward trade, putting your limit here at these bodies, having a couple points in drawdown, and just seeing what happens. I'm pretty sure that the market is going to try to protect these lows. So this 54 level may be a great starter for a position, and you can possibly scale into something as it goes down. But anything under 2350, well, I guess you could say 48 as well. You could say 40, like from 50 to 48, but that's a lot. Obviously, that's not a great risk reward. So somewhere in this area, and possibly somewhere, because they're gonna probably run that. So somewhere in this area right here. These are two potential areas where the bulls can come in at, right here. But also the one thing that we want to remember with gold tomorrow is that we have non-farm payroll coming out as well. And gold is influenced by that type of data as well. So we may see a massive whip back and forth right along with the indices. And it's going to probably be the opposite of whatever they're doing. You can see that obviously right now the gold market is making, huh? Huh, dare I say that? Dare I say that this is a bull flag? Is that a bull flag? I think this is a bull flag. Hmm. Hmm. And that would make sense tomorrow. That would make sense. Hmm. Yeah, this might be a bull flag right here. Because we got to break out of this range. It started to range. You can see them trying to sell it. They find support somewhere in this area right here. And then we can possibly see another leg up for gold to possibly retest this high right here. Yeah, we can possibly see that tomorrow with gold. Yeah, we could possibly see that. But all right. That's all I have for right now. I'll definitely try to be on stream for tomorrow at 7:30 for non-farm payroll. I do have an account that I will be using to gamble. And if you're trading non-farm payroll, I would suggest having this same account to gamble, obviously. All right. And with that said, I will do this again tomorrow. Peace out.